Hey guys, welcome to the webinar. Thank you for taking your time to join. We appreciate it. This session is going to be broken down into two parts. The first part is going to be an introduction, a presentation by Taryn, our founder, and the second part of the session will be covering the product itself. So if you have any questions, we will answer them, towards the end of the session. So Taryn, I'm going to make you the presenter.
Okay.
Alrighty. Here we go. You are now presenter.
Okay. Can you guys see my screen?
Yep, we can see it.
Okay, great. So I will start to present a PPT on Kloud. What you see is the Kloud product itself. Obviously, in the future, we will be soon using Kloud to do a webinar like this. And product is in the beta state. And we planned to make this webinar to be more interactive, but we did not prepare the sample users to be truly interactive. So we'll be instead giving product demos and with PowerPoint presentation. I will start by clicking on a document, which is the PPT itself, but we'll be presenting it using the Kloud product. And we'll make the screen to be full. So here you go. Kloud is a new way of doing online meeting platform. It is based on live document technology. And the goal is to enable an online meeting software that can be plugged into your software. So you can start doing meetings of presentations inside your website, your software, and from your task and from your task board. Kloud designed for you to do collaborations within your team and with your customers. It provides two core functions, a live document and online meeting. So what is Kloud Live Document? When you open Kloud from your iPhone, pad, TV, computer, browsers, you see documents. You see all the documents you might need for your project, for your marketing, for your user case, for your success stories. From within any document, Kloud makes the document live, capable of self-presenting itself, and make the document interactive. And you can track anybody viewing your document and when, how much time they spend, in which page they are more interested. Most importantly, we want to make the document to be like a meeting. Obviously, we're doing the meeting right now using a online screen sharing functions. Kloud doesn't like that. Kloud is based on document is the meeting. There's no video streaming needed, so that in the future, when you do use Kloud to do the online meeting, what you see here become unlimited resolutions, and it's live. Kloud used a concept called sync to make a document to be interactive, to make a document to be presentable for online meeting purpose, and yet best optimized for iPhone, for pad, for computer. A sync captures a thought process, and it makes the voice, animation, annotation, comments to be all presented like a movie. So when you start to make notes and animations, it is it is recorded and it's played back to millions and to hundreds, thousands of users real time. Why Kloud documents are important? It is ideal for distributed teams, and it makes the document to be presentable and make the document always live, meaning a document will remember all the presentations, all the meetings team members and customers ever made. What is a Kloud meeting? Kloud meeting is an online meeting, but without video streaming. It's easier, meaning you can start meeting from your iPhone, from your iPad, from your TV. It is true color and 4K resolution now. And when your hardware can support 8K, it'll be ready to be presented with the 8K resolutions. Obviously, Kloud meetings doesn't have a resolution limit, and Kloud meeting also provides an optimized display resolution depending on if your attendees are using iPhone, pad, TV, computer, or a big panel, big auditorium, big TV with 8K resolution, for example. So Kloud makes the meeting to be easier. So you can start a meeting from a phone, from a pad, and the attendee or the remote users can be at home using a pad, using a phone to attend a meeting, or the remote user can be a big group of people with multiple TVs in a meeting room optimized to show the meeting result to be based on using a central TV for the content, use left team for the local team, and use the right TV to be the presenter from the remote location. And Kloud makes the document and the meeting to be existing together, meaning any meeting you have ever done exists for you to reopen it and you to do the next meeting. And any annotations you have ever made, it's live to be part of the document. When you open a document in Kloud, it remembers not only the annotation you have made, it remembers the chattings and all the thought process discussions ever made. And Kloud Pen probably is another example why you get rid of the video stream for online meeting. You really open the possibility of imagination. In this case, a regular pen, a smart pen, with a regular notebook becomes a terminal for you to start a meeting, for you to present the contents of what you are writing to the remote users live, whether the remote users are using TV, pad, or phone or computer browsers. And Syncroom probably is a very cool place that all the Kloud functions made available for your software to be embedding a Syncroom for the purpose of using a Syncroom as a channel for ongoing conversations, collaborations, organizing all the document and meeting in one place, and then invite users and customers to join you for the ongoing webinar series and having all the chatting activity, discussions, asynchronously conversation of the presentations to be all together. So a few use cases. It can be used for project management. Prince will demo these features. It can be used for requirement discussions, approval process. Obviously, it can support customers better because your customer support portal now contains the knowledge, the live document for discussions, for meetings, and for chattings and sales quote, and the sync book for user guide, and sync room to share and engage the customer for ongoing meeting, not only just one, but remembering the entire history of the conversation ever made. Integrations, we provide the integrations because the goal of this Kloud online meeting is to reject the idea of using video stream. So all of a sudden, document is the place for you to start meetings. Integration become easy. Plugging in a document, plugging a sync room for user guide, plugging a meeting starting point, and we provide API and plugin approach. So you can embed many objects. You can also use API to do the integration. Talk briefly about scalability and security. Kloud provides a global document cloud. Underneath, we connect the Amazon document cloud with the Ali document cloud. So any document you can upload and download from any cities with the same speed. Document, we want to achieve the goal that document no longer you want to use Skype or other software or email to send. Use Kloud is easier because the document once sent is always, remember, the speed is always the same no matter in which country and in which city. And document is the meeting, is the place you do all the sync-based conversation and presentations. Security, it's totally security controlled. It has a very extensive user permission as well as a support encryption when you're transmitting the data or when you're saving the data on to your cloud storage space. So before we talk about pricing, we'll have Prince to now start to give a product demo. Prince?
Yep, absolutely. Sorry about that. Couldn't find my mouse cursor, but let me go ahead and share my screen. Okay. All right, so I'm going to take everybody through a tour of the actual Kloud platform. It is a SaaS platform, and like Taryn mentioned, it currently is in the beta stage. We're pretty much using this every day for our own needs. So we know the ins and outs, and on a daily basis, this thing is getting updated. So soon, hopefully, we should be able to provide you guys with a production release. As soon as we log into the Kloud platform, the interface should be pretty intuitive. It's easy to understand. Up on the top, we have our menus. We have our document section where all of our documents are stored and categorized. We have chatting capabilities. We have meetings, and then finally we have sync rooms. So I'll cover each one of these shortly. Before I go there, the way this works is anybody who signs up will be able to create an organization. So the current company here. Underneath it, the integration points. So if I click on this right here, we should be able to see what we call integration systems. So these are incorrectly labeled, and I apologize for that for now. But for example, if you integrated with Project One, service-wise, customer-wise, Jira, Salesforce, any of those, you can actually click into them, and they'll have its own separate space for documents, meetings, etc. The next step would be to set up your teams. So here we got only one team, but we're able to, configure multiple teams, and they will also have their own document storage, meetings, etc. Within each team, we divide them up into, or we categorize everything by what we call spaces. So I'm going to go ahead and try to create a new space here. Like Taryn mentioned, each space can be access controlled. So we have, a space that's public to everybody. Everything in there can be seen by everybody. Then we have a protected space where only invited users can see, and then finally private, where there's more access there or limitations there. So I'm going to go ahead and just create a space right here and just going to make it public for now. And we now have a new support space. And so here we're able to go ahead and create new documents. So, or upload documents. A couple of different ways to upload documents. The first is the most basic one, where we can just go ahead and open Windows Explorer or whatever file manager you're using and directly upload a document there. Second way is from My Save Files. So Kloud also provides a way for you to store all of your files, personal files, directly within the platform. So you can select or upload into your private space, and then kind of bring that over for everybody else to see. And then finally, some other integrations with other document storages like Dropbox and Google Drive. So I've already got a couple of documents uploaded here. And there's quite a bit of things you can do with documents here. So right away, you see a list of documents. For each document, you'll be able to see the number of syncs, and I'll cover that shortly, and then the number of meetings performed with that. So that's what actually makes this a little bit different than just your traditional document storage. These documents are interactive as soon as I create a sync. So I'm going to go ahead and maybe open something here. For example, this one. And so immediately it brings us into what Taryn called the LiveDoc view. So from here, I can create my syncs. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new sync here. And I'll just call it a new sync for now. Oops. So I'm going to record a sync. So what's happening right now at the moment is it's actually recording my voice as well as any annotations I make to this document. So typically, we write things as best as we can, but there's often times where that information gets misinterpreted. So having a sync associated with your documents, I think that's a tremendous advantage, especially when you're working with distributed teams. So we kind of do this daily, working with our teams overseas. Provides two things. So clarity, and then also be able to actually work at our own time. So when I'm creating these syncs, I don't need to necessarily talk to my teams live, right? I can actually create a sync, record this right onto the document. So we got a couple of features or controls over on the right-hand side, and we try to use as many modern tools as we can to assist with this. So right here we have the pen option. It's pretty straightforward. You get to indicate the thickness of the line that you're drawing and the color. So it's something like this. I can highlight that real easily. I can draw lines. I can highlight, and I find this one extremely useful because I'm always kind of doing something like this when I'm presenting. And then also we can insert comments, text directly into the document. Okay, and then finally we have this guy right here, which I think is really nice, to be able to embed video objects to support your documentation. So if I click on something like this right here, my cursor becomes a little video icon, but at any given point, I can click on that and kind of upload a video or get a YouTube link and put it directly right next to my document at that position I clicked. Okay, so there's some really cool things with this that we can do. So your documents are now a lot more effective than, let's just say, the text that's being written on there. So as soon as I'm done, I can go ahead and save that, and I hit OK, and now we have what we call a interactive document. These guys are all shareable. provided that you have the privileges, right? So we can invite users to look at this document, to look at my syncs, and whatnot, by just giving them the URL. So everything in here that you see is actually an object, an URL that's shareable. Everything is secured because in the back end, we're doing encryption at rest. And of course, Taryn mentioned, the performance. So if I give this link to anybody anywhere in the world on any device, they'll be able to see this, with clarity. All right, so now I've done that, then, essentially, I think I had a little minor issue there, but I would have had a sync here where I can click. So there's going to be multiple syncs. You can always check out what, input from your teams, right? So anybody can do a sync against this document. At the same time, when I click into a document too, let's just say I wanted to do a, live conversation with you. So at any given time, I can actually click on more, and then I could just start a meeting right there. So I'm gonna see if this guy works for me. All right, so basically when I do something like that, it's asking me for some preparation there. But right here, what I'm doing is I'm presenting the document itself. So no longer am I doing screen sharing. So screen sharing, the major problem with that I find is I often have to change my resolution on my device, on my computer, in order for my attendees to see clearly. But with LiveDocs, no matter what device my attendees use, they're always going to be able to see this documentation along with any kind of embedded objects I have within it, crystal clear. And I think Taryn mentioned up to 4K resolution and maybe even 8K, but that's what you're going to get with this. And so, yeah, so that's the documents in a nutshell. So, we're able to also chat with, anybody within the team or outside of the team even. So I'm not sure if this is fully working at the moment, but just know that there's going to be chat capabilities coming. And then finally, we get to the meeting option. So any meetings that we ever create, that we've ever done, will be all recorded here. So not only are they against the document itself, but you're able to actually see all meetings regardless of what the document is. I'm also able to schedule future meetings. And like Terry mentioned, once this is in production release, then I think going forward, when we do our webinars, we'll be using this platform. I'm able to join meetings simply by clicking on the top buttons up on the top. And this really should have been called Start Meeting. But essentially, every user in the system will have their own room or own meeting ID. And so at any given time, they can share this out with somebody. And if the meeting was ongoing, anybody that has access will be able to just punch this guy in and join the meeting right away. Okay, moving forward to the sync rooms. So this guy is probably one of my favorite features. So it's very similar to your Slack, your Microsoft Teams, and possibly even your Skype. But the only thing being is it's everything in one place. So not only am I managing my meetings, managing my documents, but I'm actually able to hold discussions within anybody that I invite into this channel, into this room. Okay, so when I click on it, it actually brings me into the sync room itself. Again, this can be shared out with anybody. It's just an URL. Over on the right-hand side, it will contain any objects I decide to throw into the sync room. So we can be talking about some requirements and things like that. So these are my two documents that I currently have within this room for collaboration. This is going to be changed going forward as well. There's going to be, the primary page will actually be an ongoing chat, kind of like everything else. But what's nice about this is it's going to have all of your documents, all of the meetings that you ever had regarding this topic. Okay, so that's what these controls are. And of course, if you notice at any given time for any document that I click on, for anything I click, I'm always able to create a sync, chat with others, and then finally start a meeting. Okay, so that's the primary purpose of the sync rooms. I'm going to now move forward to showing you some real life examples, some use cases, and how we can use this tool. So currently we are we started doing API work. We started doing integrations with other systems, and we kind of used Project One, Dev Suite, service-wise and customer-wise as a starting point. In the near future, we're going to be doing a webinar as well on the cloud integration with service-wise and customer-wise as well. So we got big plans there, because what this is going to bring to the table is we're going to be able to bring chat, we're going to be able to bring meetings, we're going to be able to bring remote access right into service-wise. So you're going to get everything in one place without needing to go and grab another tool, right? So everything's going to be all integrated, one click for everything, and it's going to be fantastic. Okay, so moving on, I'm going to do a quick recap of Project One. So I'm going to bring that over here to my screen here. And so Project One is basically a newer interface, a new interface to Dev Suite. So it's for project management, for task tracking purposes, for ALM purposes. But over here, I'm going to go ahead and bring that over. It looks like I'm having some issues. I'm going to try again. Okay, now I got my projects out. All right, so here I have a list of my projects. So I have something like just a task tracker, just tracking my tasks. And then I have something a little bit more sophisticated where I'm tracking an actual application development. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And it looks like I'm having a bunch of issues today. I apologize for that. I'm going to try to reload one more time. Okay, there we go. All right, so inside Project One, again, you have your list of projects. And then depending on your needs, you can enable any of these modules. So this is a full ALM development type of project. I have my requirements all the way down to testing. But inside my requirements, this is kind of like something we do on a daily basis. So we have our top level, our high level requirements. We're breaking those down into smaller set of technical specs. But oftentimes what happens is we're going to go ahead and associate documents to those. Okay, so when I click over here on the right hand side, I'm able to drag any document directly into any requirement, any task, right? So once you do that, you're going to have a little icon here. And when I click on it, essentially what you'll see is that if it does have any syncs, it'll be listed out right there. So I can easily click on this document. It's going to actually bring up the Kloud interface where I can do a few things. I can view this document. I can play this document, and I can actually create additional syncs off of this document. So this is the thing that we use on a daily basis. We find it extremely effective, again, with our distributed teams, right? Moving over to another use case is something that's totally new, and I'm going to pull up our Dev Suite interface. So inside Dev Suite, I'm inside my requirements management again, and I have something called our change and approval view. So traditionally what this guy was for was if there were a couple of requirements that needed revisions, we would actually create what we call a change request, and that would actually flag out everything that was being done, or implemented according to that requirement. So for example, if you're in the middle of testing, if you're in the middle of implementation, by creating a change request here, it's going to actually flag those down and just let people realize or know that, hey, actually, stop what you're doing. There's been a change. So in addition to that, we added actually a review and approval process. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and create one right here for us. So we're going to go ahead and do a review or an approval. So I'm just going to call this, review for. Okay. And then the type, of course, is going to be an approval. So I'm going to submit that. The next thing that I'm going to be able to do is I'm able to actually start linking my specifications to it. So here I have my list of specifications for this particular application. Some of them will have, attachments, documents. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and, just select a few there, hit that link button there. And then essentially what we've now done is we created a approval request where somebody actually needs to approve these 4 requirements. Okay, and the way we do that is we basically have to indicate who our approvers are going to be. And they could actually be outside too. So I know some of our customers actually send out requirements to a third party and try to pick out the right vendor to actually implement this for them. So it could actually be external as well. Don't have to be just the team members within this tool. But essentially, we're picking our approvers, and then we have the official sign off. So the guy who says, okay, everything's been approved. I think we're okay to go ahead and do this, right? So we have 2 concepts there: an approver and the overall signer. But this whole thing is going to be done by the sync rooms. So you can kind of see there's like a big blue button right there. I'm just going to open this guy as a sync room, and it's going to bring everything over to that room. Okay, so it's going to bring my 4 requirements. If they have documents, then it's all going to be listed here. So I can click on any of those, and I will have the capability of adding my comments directly into each individual ones. I can actually hold meetings, right, to talk about this before I approve, and things like that. So finally, once we approve all of these, then that requirement request will be completed. Okay, so that's a use case. Other use cases will include something totally different. So I'm going to pull up our, so I'm going to bring these guys out of here. I'm going to just pull up what we use internally to track our sales opportunities and whatnot. So oftentimes, we actually need to work with our customers to negotiate, to get that approval on a sales quote. So we need to collaborate a little bit, either internally, discuss what's right for our customers, or even talk with the customers and see if they like what we presented. So I've generated a sales quote, and I'm just going to send that over to Cloud Sync or Kloud as well. So essentially it's the same thing. It's just a couple of different use cases, but essentially I can talk about this quote with the internal team. I can hold meetings. I can chat with our customers directly and whatnot. So all in all, there's just so many different use cases for this. So this is actually currently integrated with our own sales tool, but imagine using Salesforce with this tool. So we're going to be providing APIs, open APIs and plugins, some native plugins that allows these applications to have this kind of functionality. Okay, so that's what I wanted to show you guys today. Finally, at the end, I'm just going to give you a quick preview of what's coming for the cloud integration with ServiceWise and CustomerWise. So I'm going to log into our support portal real fast. Here it's pretty clear. It's basically just an announcements. We're able to see a list of our tickets and whatnot. But pretty soon there's going to be another tab where we're able to actually click on that tab and talk live with the support team, or we're able to drag a few tickets into that into that room and be able to discuss there. So that's going to be all provided by integrating with Kloud. So I think Taryn, we mentioned that's going to be coming in about 2 months. I'm pretty excited for that. I know everybody, our ServiceWise customers will be as well. So that's all there is to this for now. Taryn, do you want to address anything else that I might have missed?
Yeah, we will provide the more integrations. The purpose of this cloud platform is to get rid of the video stream-based online meeting, instead to enable the online meeting process to be linked with your task, your support incident, and with your document. And not only you have an easier way of starting a meeting from any devices, including your phone, pad, but also all the meeting or the syncs ever created are automatically saved with your document. And we probably have not emphasized one of the very important benefits, which is Kloud actually remembers, knows if your customers have watched your document, have listened to your sync, which is a live presentation with your voice, and making the live document to be more capable of describing your idea. And whenever you send a sales quotes, if the customers have watched your sales quote, and if they ever have questions, where do they spend more time reading your document? So that's super cool. And I probably want to emphasize one of the very significant application of cloud technology is for online learning, for schools to create courses using our live document technology, and to be able to do the lessons to be using unlimited resolution true color to have astonishing result for the student to watch. And best of all, with the LiveDoc technology, not only you can do a big lesson presentation driven group lessons, but you can actually do meetings inside meetings where you can provide private coaching individually. So when you are coaching student one, you are presenting the lecture contents more tailored for student one. And when you switch to student two, automatically the voice channel as well as the live document channel, content channels are zoomed with that student only. So that something I just want to add, please.
Okay.
And we did not get the time to talk about pricings. Maybe you can just briefly describe it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was going to wrap it up with one last thing for our attendees here. So there's one more thing, just so you guys are aware. So all of our documentation is currently held, at help.techacel.com. So we're actually in the process of modifying all of this documentation. As a matter of fact, we're trying to, put more documentation for Project One, getting ready to be, released. But we've done this actually using our cloud platform. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and it's actually going to open up, what's called our sync books. So essentially, it's a sync room, but just a different type. And within this document, you'll see it's actually our overview guide here. So when we do something like this, I'm going to go to the next page here. We're going to be able to embed those objects that I mentioned earlier, right? So this is going to help tremendously with understanding, any product or any kind of documentation. So, focus less maybe on the text, but give more examples through video. So this is actually one of the videos that we embedded directly right into the document itself. So just want to let people be aware that, this is capable of, doing release notes or any kind of documentation as well. Okay. And then so now let's wrap this up with pricing. Taryn, do you want to share your slides?
You can do that.
Okay.
Or let me share my slides actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You probably have it already. So let me go ahead and make use of the presenter.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. I'm the presenter now, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the pricing informations. We will talk quickly, finishing the webinar. And then if we have any questions, please post your questions, so we will answer your questions. So Kloud will provide a free edition of Kloud, mainly used for personal usage. Give you to do the live doc-based meeting one-on-one, unlimited. If you have 3 people or more, we will have 1 hour limit instead of 45 minutes, and we'll give you 100 gigabytes of storage for free. And for every meeting, the video and screen sharing time will be limited. Then we'll provide a standard edition, so you can have 100 attendee, 250. I think this 250 will change it to be 100, and then we will give you the 4K resolution ability, and we will give you starting meeting from any device, TV, iPhone, iPad, or computer. The next level will be the enterprise editions or professional editions, which will give you the unlimited document uploading, downloadings, and will give you not only the LiveDoc-based meeting, but also screen sharing and video conferencing for unlimited time with a 250 attendee limit. And then finally, the ultimate ones, which will give you the live stream ability and the multi-channel meeting functions and the recording function and the auditorium conference room conference meeting functions, where when you present a meeting, you can use multiple TVs as a presenters, as well. You can, as a receiver, you can multiple channels as well, and then you will have the Kloud PAN capability for the ultimate editions. What makes us different is we actually allow you to mix the standard, professional, and the ultimate users within one single company. And what's missing here is the live stream for unlimited number of user functions. We did not mention about what is the live stream. It's allow you to do a Kloud interactive meetings, but having the Kloud interactive meeting to be live broadcasted to YouTube, Facebook for unlimited number of users. Maybe you will be hosting a user conference due to the coronavirus, but your user conference could be up to millions of users or 100,000 users. A live stream is designed for you to achieve that without worrying about the hardware scalability. And maybe for your marketing purpose, you want to live broadcast your one-to-one or one-to-many meetings, or in the Kloud for School solution case, maybe you are doing a piano lesson with 5 students. You want to live broadcast your lessons because your lesson is happening inside the Kloud meeting room, which is more interactive, real time. And the live stream will be delayed by most likely 15 seconds. But the live stream is much more scalable. So maybe you will have an admin assistant to help you to answer questions. And maybe one day in the future, we will provide the function of switching the live stream audience user to be the Kloud meeting interactive users. So that's the pricing summary. And I think we are done with this presentations. I don't know if we have questions or not. Prince, if you can take care of that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think everybody's trying to wrap their heads around what's being presented. Not too many questions, but I guess one of them right now was, is this a hosted solution only, or can it be installed on-premise as well?
Yes, actually, I can answer this questions.
Okay.
Obviously, it's designed to be hosted solutions. If it's a big company and you want to be on-premise, our architectures actually allow us to do that. Obviously, it's going to be majority part of the solution to be on-premise behind your firewall, and yet some of the functions will have to be SaaS-based. For example, the live meeting itself. What if you want to do screen sharing? Using the live document meetings, actually on-premise is much easier. However, if you want to do the screen sharing, video conferencing, make it to be on-premise only, actually it's going to limit your scalability. So it's going to be on-premise majority of the components of the solutions, but some components like the chatting, like the video, and even the audio conference call to be SaaS-based. And so SaaS-based channel can be private though. So it could be when it's going to be majority on your private cloud, but some of them using SaaS. It's a hybrid solutions.
Okay, great. Okay, so there's other questions regarding a little bit about Project One and maybe just how we can administer these tools. So yeah, there's going to be a web interface in terms of managing the system, so configuring the fields, configuring the settings, and things like that. That's currently already partially inside Project One, but we're in the process of migrating all of the features, all of the settings over to the web interface. So yeah, stay tuned for that.
Yeah, the cloud part is totally web-based admin, and it's not extensive admin functions because it's relatively a simpler workflow software. And the P1 part, the core function is web-based, but the enterprise edition of P1 really has total configurability. Therefore, it still has many functions Dev Suite admin based, which is a Windows client, and we're migrating all the functions from Dev Suite admin to be web based. I think it's going to take us probably up to 1 year to finish all of them.
Okay. I'm going to answer one more question, and then for any additional questions, details, we can talk to our account reps. So finally, Taryn, I think the last question is, can we use Kloud today for testing, for evaluation? Are we in that ready state, or?
Yes, we are. As a beta or alpha version testing, we are ready for that. Obviously, we will provide a user guide as well as provide a list of features that are in the early beta or alpha state, and the majority of them are in the good beta state now. So I think to test it, we obviously would love to work with some customers to test drive our cloud.
Okay, sounds good. So yeah, if you guys are interested in evaluating or testing again, just contact whoever your account rep is, and we can set up something. Like Taryn mentioned, all of the major features are working, but the interface will change a little bit, along with certain minor details as we get ready to release. All right, so that's it for today. Stay tuned for future webinars. I mentioned we're gonna do one on service-wise, customer-wise, integrating Kloud with support. Taryn also has some other things that you want to talk about as well. So thank you again for joining, and we'll see you next time. Stay safe.
Thank you very much. Thank you.